Hi. Hi, I'm Mikayla. I'm a junior majoring in biology.
I'm a math student, and my name's Carolyn.
Alright. And so this is the theater of Dionysus. So originally the festivals of Dionysus, they were held over in the Agora. They had a theater over there back in the 6th century BC, and it was just made with like wooden bleachers, and at one point that collapsed, and then so they brought the theater over here to the precinct of Dionysus back in the early 5th century. And whenever they first made this theater, it's thought that they just had wooden bleachers, and then they had the circular orchestra where they would hold the plays and such. And also they would have wooden backdrops right over here called skeins, and these were displays for the plays, and they also could have helped with acoustics. And then by the end of the 5th century, the wooden construction started to be replaced by stone, the stone benches, which you can still see. And then by the 4th century, there was a permanent stage, and then they added these paraskenia, which would be probably about right here where we're standing, and they probably held other skeins, so like other backdrops, or they could have been stairways. And then around 330 BC, they added 67 marble thrones, which are like these ones right along the orchestra, and you can kind of see it's really cool. They have the names of the dignitaries that sat there inscribed on the stones, and then there was a grand marble throne like right in the middle, and that was for the priest of Dionysus. And then in the 1st century BC, during the Romans, they made a new stage of marble slabs, which you can still see, and then they updated the thrones.
Alright, that was very informative and helps me lay the foundation for my presentation. And let's picture this. On a fine spring day in Athens, we have thousands of spectators crowding to the south slope of Acropolis, waiting to see which playwright wrote the most tragic story and the most pitiful hero. And that is the drama contest of the Dionysus festival. Drama is considered one of the most sacred forms of performing arts, even in the modern day world. It really evolved from a combination of religious festivals, rituals, and narrative poetry. Anyway, I like to talk about the contest because I like competing stuff. And so the initial prize of this type of contest was actually a goat, which coined the term tragedy, which in ancient Greek means the term goat song, which now that I speak it out loud, it doesn't really sound all that elegant. And so what makes a tragedy so tragic? And the answer is catharsis, the ability to induce fear and pity to your audience. So before the 5th century BCE, the ancient Greeks really did that. That was the main form of genre of competition. But after that, comedy took center stage because who likes to hear about sad stories all the time. The theater contest is a birthplace for many dramatists such as Aeschylus, Sophocles, Euripides, Menander, and Aristophanes, which Professor Rao covered in an earlier presentation. And also, Thespis was considered to be the first actor ever for stepping out of the chorus formation and assuming an independent role on the stage. Thus, we have the term thespian to refer to as actors. Now that you know a little bit about what drama is like, you probably want to know what is the secret of winning this contest. And as a mathematician, let me tell you, there is a formula. Yes, there is. The tradition actually came from Aeschylus of his writing his trilogy. So let me summarize this for you quickly. Step 1, find your hero, get him up a tree. Step 2, throw rocks at your hero. Step 3, let him gracefully down the tree. And for bonus points, you want to set your play in Thebes. A lot of the plays are setting Thebes because It is a neighboring city-state that is close enough, familiar enough for Athenians to relate to, but just foreign enough for the playwrights to do all sorts of distortion on their culture. One of the most iconic plays on Thebes is actually Bacchae, written by Euripides. It is a play about a dancing cult of crazy women who tore their own king to pieces with their bare hands. It's it's under the influence of Dionysus. So in the play, Dionysus is portrayed as a very effeminate man who is very witty with his words, which the cunningness and being good with his words is considered a feminine weapon. So that shows how he is transgressing the gender roles, even in ancient Greece. Meanwhile, his counterpart, King Pentheus, who got torn apart, was embodying the masculinity of ancient Greece, and he eventually was persuaded by Dionysus to dress up as a woman, and then got torn into pieces by his own mother. So, moral of the story, do not piss off Dionysus. And this play captures a lot of the societal struggles even to this day in our 21st century, such as the conflicts of old values and the new values, persuasion versus acceptance, ambition versus modesty, tradition versus innovation, and anxiety of perceived masculinity. In conclusion, as Professor Ra really likes to say, thank God for Hollywood. Our worship of Dionysus still lives on today, as long as we still have a love for the performing arts. So tonight, let us all raise a glass in the name of Dionysus to peace, love, and catharsis.